Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams, Hari Bol. Today, 18th of March, and we're going to have a prelude to our Navadvipa Parikrama. We're going to read from the little Navadvipa Parikrama book that I posted on the WhatsApp. We're going to read the essay in the front by my Gurudev describing the glories of Navadvip and in comparison to Puri Dham. What is the distinction between these two dhams? My Gurudev would always speak on this topic before the parikrama, and topics around this appreciation of Navadvip and its distinction from Puri. So we need to have that very clear. So we'll sing a bhajan to honor Nityananda Prabhu, because we can't really enter into this holy dham without first honoring Nityananda. Nityananda must be there in our prayers to even come into this holy dham. So we remember how Raghunath Das wanted to escape to Puri, but he could only escape once he'd got the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. And then he was able to very easily make his way to Puri. Okay, so we'll sing Akrodhananda, Paramananda, Nityananda Rai. Akrodha Paramananda, Nityananda Rai, Abhimana Shunya Nitai, Nagare Bedaya, Akrodha Nityananda Rai, Adama Patita Jive Dware Dware Giya Harinama Maha Mantra Dichena Bilaya Adama Patita Jive Iya Harinama Maha Mantra Jare dekhe tare kahe Dante Trinadori Amare Kiniyalaho Bola Gaura Hari Tare kahe Dante Trinadori Amare Kiniyalaho Eta bolo Nityananda Bhume Gadi Jaya Sonara Parvata Jino Dolate Lotaya Eto boli Nityananda Bhume Gadi Jaya Sonara Parvata Heno Dolate Lotaya Eno Avatare Jare Ratina Janilo Lochana Bole Se Papi Elo Aragelo Eno Avatare Akrodha Paramananda Nityananda Rai Abhimana Shunya Nitai Nagare Bedai Akrodha Paramananda Nityananda Rai Abhimana Shunya Nitai Nagare Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Ramo Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Jaya Nityananda Rai Jaya Nityananda Rai Nityananda Rai Jaya Nityananda Rai Oh Nitai Hey Nitai Hey Nitai Hey Oh Nitai Hey Nitai Hey Nitai Hey Nitai Hey Nitai Hey Jaya Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Hari Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Hari Goda hey, Goda hey, Goda hey, Goda hey. Jaya Radha, Madana Mohan Radha, Madana Mohan Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Oh Radhe, 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 Radhe. Jai Shishi Guru Garanga Ganhavika Giridhari Radha Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai Brishabhanu Nandini Vajeshwari Radharani Ki Jai Nityananda Rai Ki Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hari Ki Jai Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Surabhi Kunj Ki Jai Jai Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Astotarasara Shishimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Astotarasara Shishimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Astotarasara Shishimad Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Jagat Guru Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Astotarasara Shishimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Paramahamsa Mahabhagavat Srila Gaurikishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Saptam Goswami Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Jai Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Srila Baladevi Dibhushan Gaudi Acharya Ki Jai Jai Srila Vishnath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai Jai Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu Treya Ki Jai Jai Srila Krishnas Kaviraj Goswami Ki Jai Jai Shri Rup Sanatan Shri Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Sad Goswami Prabhu's Ki Jai Jai Swarup Damodar Rai Ramananda Gauri Parsada Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Siga Hol Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Antadvip Mayapur Simantadvip Gautamdvip Madhyadvip Koladvip Ritujip Janadvip Modandvip Rudradvip Atmakanavadvip Dham Ki Jai Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Go Govardhan Dwadasa Varmatmika Shri Braja Mandal Ki Jai Shri Radha Kun Shama Kun Ganga Jamuna Devi Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Shrimati Vrinda Devi Maharani Ki Jai Shrimati Yogamaya Purnamasi Devi Maharani Ki Jai Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Ki Jai Ketra Mandal Ki Jai Sarva Vigna Vinashakari Shina Shingadev Bhagavan Ki Jai Bhakta Prava Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai Charidam Ki Jai Chari Sampradaya Ki Jai Chari Acharya Ki Jai Akara Mat Raj Shri Chaitanya Mat Ki Jai Shri Keshav Ji Gaudiya Mat Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Anantakota Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Samagat Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Gauda Premanande, Sri Navadvipa Parikrama 2024 Ki Jai. Om Megina Timirandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Jena Tasmaye Shri Guruve Namaha Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarabhaktaya Namo Namaha Priya Swarupe Daita Swarupe Prema Swarupe Sahajabi Rupe Nijana Rupe Prabhueka Rupe Tatana Rupe Swavilasa Rupe Anapita Chirim Chirat Kurunavartino Kalo Samarapaitam Unnata Ujvala Rasam Swabhakti Shriyam Hari Purata Sundaratu Dikatam Vasatipita Sadahridare Kandare Spuratu Vasachinandanaha Yam Prabhajantamanapetyam Apetykrityam Dvaipaino Viraha Katara Ajuhava Putreti Tammayatayo Tarabo Binedustam Sarvabhutam Munimun Anatoshmi Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshay Shiptascha Karmadi Tarangamadye Kripamai Tvam Sharanam Prapana Brinde Namaste Charanadavindam Bhajami Radham Aravinda Netram Smarami Radham Madhurashmitasyam Vadami Radham Karuna Varadram Tato Mamanasti Katina Kapi Tavaivasmi najivami tvayivina iti vignayarate tvam nayamam jaranantikam. I'm first of all offering millions and millions of Dandavat pranams unto the lotus feet of my beloved Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And I'm offering the same again millions and millions of times unto the lotus feet of our beloved Nityalila Pravishta Om Astol Tadasara Shishimat Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada and all our illustrious Rupanuga Guru Vargya. I'm offering my Dandavat pranams to all our line, and I'm offering my Dandavat pranams to all the Vaishnava and Vaishnavi devotees of the Lord. My Dandavat pranams. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubheva Patitanam Pavnibhyo Vaishnavena Namaha. So we just sang that beautiful bhajan by Lochan Das Thakur, and I just wanted to read the translation and perhaps illuminate anything there. So this is on page 60, by the way, in the songbook. It's saying, the noble Nityananda. It's an interesting description. Nityananda Rai. Rai means like king, basically, the noble person, that powerful, immense personality who is carrying the current of Gaura Ras, which is going to bring us to a place of Krishna Ras. He's carrying Gaura Prem, and he's going to put us in the direction of Mahaprabhu, who will give Krishna Prem. Mahaprabhu will give Krishna Prem. Nityananda Prabhu, he won't give the Krishna Prem that Mahaprabhu is able to bestow. He will take us to the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nityananda Prabhu essentially is carrying a mood of Sakya Ras. This is the mood that he's carrying. And Vatsalya Ras and Dasya Ras. Everyone in Gaura Lila is immersed in a mood of a Dasya Ras to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nobody is in the mood of paramour or anything like that. We must just say this straight away. This is called Gauranagari. If we're thinking that Gadadhar and Mahaprabhu are having some type of relationship in connection with that Madhurya Bhav that they both have, then that is completely incorrect. Gadadhar is directly Srimati Radharani, and she has given up her Manini mood, her mood of contrariness, just to be completely submissive to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through the whole Leela. So this is Gadadhar. And Nityananda, he's in a mood of Sakya Ras. And there's the 12 Gopals that follow him. That's Abhiram Das Thakur, Sundaranandan Thakur, Kamalakara Pipalaya, Subal Saka, Parameshwara, Dhananjaya, Mahesh Pandit, Purushottam Pandit, Kala Krishna Das, Purushottam Naga, Udaran Thakur, and Kolavecha Sridhar. These are the 12 Gopals that follow Nityananda and support his mood of Sakya Ras. And he's giving us the direction of Shuddha Bhakti. This is what he's preaching. Shuddha Bhakti. Advaita Acharya and Nityananda Prabhu, they're responsible for the current of pure bhakti. But it's not Braja Prem. That's not what they're giving. They're pointing us in the direction of Mahaprabhu. And he is going to bestow that Braja Prem. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is directly Krishna himself. So it's Krishna's ability. Krishna has that prem. Krishna is going to taste that prem. That's why he's advented as Mahaprabhu. He's going to taste that prem, and he's going to distribute it from the lotus-like mouth of Srila Rupa Goswami Pad. All of this is going to be distributed by Rupa Goswami for posterity, for the conditioned souls of this age. So Nityananda, we should understand his place in the entire movement of Mahaprabhu's mission. Something we should get. By the end of our parikrama, I think we'll all understand more. I will understand more. So the noble Nityananda, the personification of supreme transcendental bliss, he's always in Ananda, Nitya Ananda. He's always in complete bliss, in service. Dasya. Nityananda, Baladev, Akhand Guru Mulatattva. And what is the Shakti that they are representing, the Ishtadev of? That is Sandini Shakti. The Sandini Shakti, the Shakti of existence potency. Everything that has existence is manifested through the potency, the agency of Sandini. And the Ishtadeva of that Sandini Shakti is Baladev Prabhu, Nityananda Rai. So they are in that form, that Akhand Guru Mula Tattva. Then Sankarshan will manifest, Mul Sankarshan in Dwarka. And then there will be Mahasankarshan in Vaikuntha realm. And then from there, Narayan will manifest, the three Purush avatars, Karanadakshay Vishnu, Garbhadakshay Vishnu, Shiradakshay Vishnu, they will manifest. And then ultimately, Ananta Shesh. And all this line is all manifesting by Baladev Prabhu, by Nityananda Rai. All of this line to support, to make the existence of the cosmic world available for the pastimes to take place in. Without having some place for existence, how can all these pastimes manifest? So this is the current coming from Nityananda Rai. So his glories are endless. So he's never angry because he's in this fully blissful state. He can't become angry because we see in so many instances in the Chaitanya Bhagavatam in particular, because Vrindavan Das Thakur, he has written this Chaitanya Bhagavat. Vrindavan Das Thakur was the last disciple of Nityananda Prabhu. He was initiated when he was about 18 or 19 by Nityananda Prabhu. And Nityananda commented that he wrote very nicely. He submitted some poems to Nityananda, and Nityananda instructed him he should write about the pastimes of that Nityananda performed, which is what he did. He lived in one place called Denur. He was born in Momgachi. He's the son of the niece of Srivas Thakur. And we know the pastime of his mother receiving the mercy from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu directly. So he stayed with his mother, actually, his whole birth. He never married. And he manifested this Chaitanya Bhagavat. And all the way through, it's all glorification of Nityananda Prabhu. So Vrindavan Das Thakur is also in this mood of Sakyabhav. He's not writing about the esoteric topics of Puri in Puridam, as did Krishnadas Kaviraj. He's not writing that. He's writing all the beautiful pastimes of Navadvipa Dham and Mahaprabhu in Navadvip. So that's what we're going to hear about today also. So he's never angry, devoid of all false ego. He has no cause for false ego. We see sometimes he appears in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu without any clothes at all. He's wearing his cloth on his head. And Mahaprabhu says, "Oh, Bhai, what are you doing? Where's your clothes?" And he just chuckles and laughs. And Nimai Pandit, then Nimai, he takes his cloth off his head very carefully and puts it around his waist to cover him. And then there's the beautiful pastime where Mahaprabhu, he requests the kopin of Nityananda, and he cuts the kopin into many pieces, and he tells all the followers, you take this kopin and you wear it on your heads. This is how much Nitai means to me. Nitai means everything to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's the support of Mahaprabhu's mission. Mahaprabhu wants to give Prem Ras. He wants to taste Prem Ras in the world. This is what he wants to taste. Prem Ras, Niryase, Korite Ashwadan. And he wants to give Rag Mag. This is what he wants to give. This is the purpose of his descent, is to give the conditioned souls this Raganuga Bhakti, which is such an esoteric state of consciousness, a place in the heart, so particular and fine that it takes a great deal of, we can say, planning to actually make this event manifest. Mahaprabhu only comes once every 8,640,000,000 years. He only comes once then, once in the day of Lord Brahma, with such a special particular gift, so esoteric. Prior to his advent, practically Raganuga Bhakti was not even there. It was there to some degree, but very, 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 very less. Certainly it wasn't widely distributed. Even after Krishna left this world, Krishna, he kept those confidential topics, Vrindavan pastimes, confidential, and they weren't broadcast during Krishna's time. It's only after Krishna that they began to filter out a bit with Jaidev Goswami, etc. Yachaspati, a few personalities, but very less, very limited. Even Advaita Acharya, he's calling out for Krishna, but it's in a mood to establish bhakti in the world. It wasn't with a mood to establish this rag mag in the world. That wasn't his intention. His intention was to relieve the conditioned souls of their tremendous bewilderment in the illusory energy. And Nityananda is supporting that mood. He's the foundation, the Sandini Shakti. This is who is Nityananda. And then, devoid of all false ego, he wanders throughout the town. He would just wander throughout the town in such extreme bliss. And he would stay in the house of Srivas Thakur with Malini, his wife. And he took Malini to be like his mother. He would even take her breast milk, even if she was an old lady. But milk would come from her breast, and Nitai would take that milk. And he would call her, he would allow her to feed him. He wouldn't touch he waited for Malini Devi to feed him. So these pastimes are so achintya, they're so extraordinary, they're so inconceivable. But this is what Vrindavan Das Thakur has described, these beautiful pastimes, about Navadvip Dham, but very, very less about Puri Dham. He never had darshan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Vrindavan Das Thakur didn't see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but he knew Nityananda, and he knew Advaita Acharya, and he knew all the great stalwart devotees in Navadvip and in the Bengal area. He would regularly be with them all. So this is where his association with Mahaprabhu has come from, but not directly with Mahaprabhu. So going from door to door among the residences of lowly and fallen souls, he freely distributes the Harinam Mahamantra. This is what his seva is. This is directly Mahaprabhu. He requests him and Haridas, you please go door to door and distribute this Harinam Sankirtan. When we worship Gaur Nitai, it's in a mood of preaching. It's different to the mood of worshipping Gaur Gadadhar. This is another conception. Gaur Gadadhar is more for bhajan. Gaur Nitai is more for archan, for worship. So that mood of without Nityananda, nothing can transpire. Don't minimize this remotely in your minds, these conceptions. Nityananda is the foundation, and everything manifests from him. In this particular place, we read Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Kalpatavi, Godram Kalpatavi, this beautiful book. We've just published it in 3 languages. And there it's about the storehouse of the holy name. The whole book is about distributing the holy name from this place, from Surabhi Kunj. Nityananda is the storekeeper. Advaita Acharya is also one of the storekeepers. Haridas Thakur, he's in charge of the distribution. And it's a whole beautiful image that Bhaktivinoda Thakur has conceived of to distribute the holy name to the conditioned souls. So this is the principal focus of the teachings of Nityananda Prabhu. But to go further than that, when we read the teachings from Rupa Goswami and all the way through our line, then we start to understand particulars about the Vrindavan pastimes and the Leela. Because Mahaprabhu has come to distribute prem. He hasn't just come to relieve the conditioned souls of their suffering, which is basically liberation. He hasn't come for that. And he hasn't come simply to give them bhakti. That bhakti will be infused within them by Advaita Acharya and Nityananda, and through Nityananda, Heno Nitai Bine Bai, Radha Krishna Paitenai. Through Nityananda, we will come to Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu will take us into that realm, that kingdom of Vrindavan. And it's in that place of Vrindavan consciousness, that Rupa Goswami is waiting to distribute the special gifts of Mahaprabhu in the form of Ujjvala Nilamani, this Vidagdha Madhav, Lalit Madhav, the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. All these books of Rupa Goswami are there, directly infused in the heart of Rupa Goswami by Mahaprabhu. So this is the way it is planned out. So as I say, it's a huge affair that Mahaprabhu has constructed to give the jiva an opportunity. And we should appreciate that very few souls, even though it's spread out on a plate, are going to actually be attracted. Very, very few, because it entails completely, first of all, giving up everything we thought was of value in the material realm, and then coming into the internal realm, and then praying for the inspiration to love Brajendranandan Shyam Sundar in Vrindavan. Mahaprabhu is absolutely non-different from Krishna. Radha Krishna Vikriti, what is it? Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritiya Hladini Shakti Asmad Ekatmanav. They are one. You need to know these verses. If you don't know these verses, you're not really serious or following. These first 6 verses of Chaitanya Charitamrita. The 4th verse, Anapita Chirim Chirat. The next one, Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritya Hladini Shakti Asmad. The next one, Sri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kidrisho Vanaiva. These are the reasons that Mahaprabhu was advented. If we're in this movement, it's our duty to care what Mahaprabhu has come to give through the Shastric teachings of Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj, as well as Chaitanya, as Vrindavan Das Thakur. So we should take responsibility for this. Going from door to door among the residents of the lowly and fallen, he freely distributes the Harinam Mahamantra. And we understand the wonderful pastime with Jagai and Madai, when even to them he wants to actually distribute this. We are the Jagai and Madais. Who can think less than that? And somehow, because of the mercy of Nityananda, he's benedicting us with the opportunity to hear this Mahamantra, which will cure our material disease of lust, anger, greed, etc., and bring us to the lotus feet of Sachinandan Gaura Hari, who then will infuse us with the inspiration to come to Vrindavan Dham and to understand the nature of the pastimes within Vrindavan through the teachings of Rupa Goswami. It's really, really simple. But at the same time, we should understand the plan, the scheme, the way it's all set, the map, very clearly. If we understand that map crystal clear, then we can't be deflected from our goal. Nothing can distract us. Holding a straw in his teeth, he calls out to whomever he sees, please purchase me by calling out Gaura Hari, Gaura Hari, Gaura Hari. This is all he's doing. He wants everyone to come to Mahaprabhu. This is the preaching of Nityananda. He would only come once a year for the Rath Yatra in Puri, even though Mahaprabhu requested him, don't come, don't keep coming every year. He requested him to stay and maintain the very delicate preaching that was going on in Bengal, because it was from that powerhouse in Bengal of preaching with Advaita Acharya, Narahari Thakur, who else? Murari Gupta. So many personalities were residing here. Gauridas Pandit, all of these personalities, and they were all supporting the mission of Nityananda Prabhu, directing everyone towards the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. But there's distinctions here that we should appreciate. Speaking in this way, Nityananda Prabhu rolls on the ground, appearing like a golden mountain, tumbling in the dust. So much ecstasy. Just crash on the ground. Such a powerful, imposing personality, carrying that radiance of Baladev Prabhu, that potency of Baladev Prabhu. all with the intention of serving Sachinandan Gaurahari, serving this rasa of Braj, which is what Mahaprabhu has come to give the jiva. He's come to give us that. Lochan Das says that sinful person who has not experienced the awakening of attachment for such an avatar simply comes and goes in the endless cycle of birth and death. Yes, unless we actually have developed this great mood of total dedication to Nityananda Prabhu, then nothing towards the conception of Braja Prem will begin to exist. It'll just stay quite superficial in a sense. So if we take the teachings of Nityananda, we will be brought to Vrindavan Dham. This is the teachings. So Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. So now we're going to begin this lecture of my Gurudev in the little Navadvipa Parikrama book. So I put this PDF on our website. So if anyone's sitting at home, you can follow the essay I'm going to read, The Supremacy of Sri Navadvipa Dham, because my Gurudev would speak these truths every single year. Every single year, practically, he would repeat the same thing. He wanted to instill in us all the true supremacy of Navadvipa Dham, because it appears that Puri Dham is more prominent, because Mahaprabhu's separation, Vipralamba moods in Puri Dham were so Aishwarya, they were so magnificent, falling in the ocean, his limbs becoming long, becoming like a tortoise, etc. And they were so astonishing, dramatic, but they're not Madhurya Dham. They're not Madhurya Lila. In Puri, we're going to understand that it's actually Aishwarya Dham. These are exhibitions of Aishwarya. Everyone would see that, and it's not Nara Lila. Nara Lila means human-like Lila. It's not human-like Lila to fall in the ocean for 24, 30 hours and have all your limbs, elongated or suddenly become like a tortoise like that. And that's not Nara Lila. That's beyond Nara Lila. So it's Aishwarya Lila. So the supremacy of Sri Navadvipa Dham by Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj in Mawulambar, Australia, February 13th, 2002. What is the meaning of Navadvip? The 9 islands denote the 9 processes of bhakti.
Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam.
Hearing and chanting about the transcendental holy name, form, qualities, paraphernalia, and pastimes of Lord Vishnu Krishna, remembering them, serving the Lord's lotus feet, offering the Lord respectful worship with 16 types of paraphernalia, offering him prayers, becoming his servant, considering him one's best friend, and surrendering everything unto him. In other words, serving him with the body, mind, and words. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.23. Sorry. So my Gurudev opens with this because these 9 islands here are representing the 5 angas of bhakti. The 9 processes are represented in the 9 islands. This Navadvip has been addressed as Svetadvip in the Vedas, Upanishads, and so many other Vaishnava literature. We've just read yesterday in Jaivedama, chapter 14. We're reading that Navadvip is Svetadvip, and Svetadvip is Vrindavan. The two are together. So we're very fortunate to have just been discussing exactly the same topic just yesterday. You can chant this, Shriya Kanta.
Shriya Kanta Kanta Paramapurushaha Kalpatarabo Druma Bhumis Chintamani Ganamai Toyamamritam Kathaganam Natyam Gamanamapi Vamshi Priyasaki Chidanandam Jyoti Paramapi Tada Swadhyamapicha Sayatra Kshirabdhi Shravati Surabhischa Sumaha निमेषाधाक्यो वा व्रजति नहि यत्रापि समयः भजे श्वेतद्वीपम् इह गोलोकमिति यं विदन्तस्ते सन्तश्चिति विरला चार कतिपये.
Worship that transcendental seat known as Svetadvip, where as loving consorts the Lakshmis, in their unalloyed spiritual essence, practice the amorous service of the Supreme Lord Krishna as their only lover, where every tree is a transcendental purpose tree, where the soil is the purpose gem, all water is nectar, every word is a song, every gate is a dance, the flute is the favorite attendant of the attendant. The effulgence is full of transcendental bliss, and the supreme spiritual entities are all enjoyable and tasty. Where numberless milk cows always emit transcendental oceans of milk, where there is eternal existence of transcendental time, which is ever present without past or future, and hence is not subject to the quality of passing away, even for the space of half a moment. That realm is known as Golok, only to a very few self-realized souls of this world. This is from Brahma Samhita. So we're getting the right mood to begin this description of the glories and supremacy of Navadvip. We're talking about the spiritual world. This is a description of the spiritual world. Every step is a dance. The flute sound is the favorite attendant. The flute sound is always present. These beautiful descriptions. Every tree is a transcendental purpose tree. The soil is the purpose gem. Water is nectar. This is a picture of the spiritual realm. So this is where Navadvip is situated. Puridam is not situated in the same prakosht. It's not in the same place. Puridam is the same as Dwarka. It's non-different to Dwarka. Vrindavan, Dwarka, and Mathura. And then there's Navadvip, Puri, and Kurukshetra. These three on this side. Sri Rupa Goswami has quoted this verse, and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has also quoted it, along with many such verses. Navadvip is Svetadvip. So that was a description of Svetadvip. So understand the elevated position of this holy dham. We can't see because our eyes are still covered by our material desires. This is what's covering our vision. Because we have such an abundance of material desires, it creates clouds and we can't see. But it doesn't mean that this place is not the topmost spiritual reality. It's just that I can't perceive it because of my own vision has been clouded because of my desires. In transcendental Goloka Vrindavan, there are two parts, Vrindavan and Svetadvip. Vrindavan and Navadvip are complementary. Without Navadvip, Vrindavan is incomplete. And without Vrindavan, Navadvip is incomplete. Why? Because in Vrindavan, Krishna doesn't experience the highest ras that he is aware of that Shri Radhika is experiencing. Shri Radhika is experiencing a higher ras than Krishna. Krishna experiences up to Mahabhav. But above Mahabhav, there's Ruda and Adiruda. When these sattvic abhavs become intensified and act on the body, completely immerse the body in transcendence, the most profound transcendence. So Ruda is when 5 of those 8 sattvic abhavs are flourishing, and Adiruda is when all 8 of those sattvic abhavs are manifesting together. So Krishna doesn't taste that because Radhika has more affection for Krishna than Krishna has for Radhika. Why? Because Krishna is serving, Radhika is serving Krishna with every atom of her body. We've just been through this amazing 14th chapter, understanding how the Shaktiman, Krishna, he manifests the Shakti from the source. And I've given the example like the sun planet is producing the heat. The heat is the Shakti that is completely surrounding the sun planet. And it's the sun planet that is the origin and the source, and the heat is emanating from that original source, the Shakti, and she is pouring all her attention onto the source in her love and affection towards Krishna, the Shakti and Shaktiman. Radha Purna Shakti, Krishna Purna Shaktiman, E Dui Vastu, Nai Veda, Nai Shastra Praman. That this is the Shastric conclusion, that the Shakti and Shaktiman are actually non-different, yet at the same time there is a distinction. So this mood of service by Radhika produces a higher mood of pleasure than Krishna can taste. So he manifests as Mahaprabhu specifically to taste that mood that Radhika experiences, and specifically in Nandagaon, at Uddhav Kund, not at Uddhav Kund, Uddhav Kyari, in Uddhav Kyari, where for 100 years Radhika is there, separated from Krishna. So this Vipralamba Bhav, this separation mood, is producing such profound, ultimately bliss within Radhika. But that separation is going to be nourishing the next meeting. When there's separation like that, then this will nourish the meeting. Without separation, there cannot be success in meeting. So all of these considerations should be studied by the devotees. If we want to understand who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we should understand these teachings of Rupa Goswami Pad. Together they are complete. And when separation and meeting mix together, the resultant situation is complete. Where there is no separation mood, meeting is incomplete. So you remember in Jivadhamma, in chapter 37, it's very clearly described what are the four principal moods of separation. This purvarag, that mood of anticipation before one's meeting. And then man is described as a separation mood. When Radharani is in man, they cannot meet. Radharani is using this man to serve Krishna, so that Krishna will become more enthusiastic to achieve that union with Radhika. And without Chandravali, that man wouldn't manifest. So we should understand the importance and speciality of Chandravali in the whole of the Vrindavan pastimes also. So that Purvarag, and then the meeting that results after Purvarag is called Sankshipta. And that meeting is described as shy, because it's the first meeting, it's the initial meetings. So that mood is shy. That's how it's described by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his Bindu, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu. And Rupa Goswami has described it that way. And then there is Man, and then that Man, that Sankiran, this contracted mood of meeting. When there's meeting after Man, there's some hesitation. Radharani is still feeling some mood of hesitation. So it's somewhat contracted. That is that what did I say? Sankiran. Yes, that's Sankiran, that mood of contracted. And then there is Prem Vaichitya. That's the astonishing mood of separation while there's meeting. But that's classified as a separation mood. It's one of the four. And that Prem Vaichitya, it results in Sampanna. Sampanna is the meeting that comes after that. And that's described as enriched sambhog. When the sambhog is enriched. These four we should know. If we are serious about our forward movement in to understanding this meeting and separation, because this dynamic, it's everywhere. It's all pervasive in the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. We described the other day how 12 hours of the day in Vrindavan are separation, 12 hours of the day are meeting. So this dynamic is ever present because one is nourishing the other. Without separation, there can't be successful union. So, and then the fourth is called pravas, that separation, which is for a long time, that pravas. And the meeting after that is samriddhiman, and that is described as flourishing. That's when the meeting is flourishing. All of this is in chapter 37 of Jivadhamma. So if we are serious practitioners, we want to know and understand. This is what I'm describing now is the basic backdrop for our meditation on Mahaprabhu and his holy Dham, which is what my Gurudev is explaining at this point. So I'll carry on reading now. So the 12 Varnas, forests, and Upavarnas of Vrindavan are in Navadvip, within the 9 islands. Madhuvan, Talvan, Kamudvan, Bahulavan, Kamyavan, Kadirvan. Those are the 7 on the western side of the Jamuna. Then on the eastern side, Bandiravan, Badravan, Bailvan. It's got Vrindavan here, but it's missed out Lohavan. It's Mahavan and Lohavan also. So those 5, these 12 forests are there within Navadvip Dham. This is what Gurudev is saying. The 12 forests and Upavans of Vrindavan are in Navadvip. All of these forests are here. When we go across to Antadvip, we will appreciate, if you look in the middle of this book, you'll see this is all described. You've got a map of the islands, etc. And it's talking about in each place in Antadvip, this is the island. This is non-different to Gokul, that place of Gokul, which is like Mahavan today. So that is that place. Simantadvip is an extension from Mahavan. And all of these islands and forests are there within the circumference of Navadvip Dham. Don't think that Jagannath Puri is superior to Navadvip. Don't think that Godavari Tata, where Mahaprabhu revealed his form and mood of Rasaraj Mahabhav, Radha and Krishna combined, is superior to Navadvip. Navadvip is far superior to both these places. On one hand, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed his transcendental form of Rasaraj Mahabhav at Godavari, and that most high place of Harikatha, Rai Ramananda Sangvad, took place there. On one hand, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed his extreme moods of separation in Gambhira. He jumped in the ocean near there, and he relished Srimati Radhika's moods of separation with Swarup Damodar and Rai Ramananda. This may be said, therefore, to be the deepest and highest of the Lord's abodes, but there are many reasons why it is not. So he's just briefly mentioned the Godavari. The Godavari was incredible. The Rai Ramananda Sangvad, where everything was brought out. Because understand, Mahaprabhu has in Navadvip this potential to taste Radhika's mood, to become like Radhika. But it doesn't really manifest fully until he meets Rai Ramananda at Godavari, because he needs that Saki to bring out that Saki's mood. Radhika is a Saki. She's a Saki of Krishna's. So he needs that mood of the Saki to bring that mood out. So that is Rai Ramananda. That is Vishaka Devi. So Vishaka Devi brings that mood of Saki Bhav out of Mahaprabhu. Then he can taste that Saki Bhav from that experience. And that might seem to be the deepest place to actually consider. But my Gurudev is explaining, actually, this is not. There's something more. And then he's saying those extreme moods of Vipralamba in the Gambhira, where he's scratching the wall, he rubs his face on the wall. These are very dramatic feelings of Vipralamba Bhav. But this Vipralamba Bhav, this is not an eternal Leela that's going on here in Puri Dham. This is a temporary Leela that's going on here. It's not the same as the sweetest moods that are always present in Navadvip Dham. There's a distinction here. My Gurudev explains that practically Mahaprabhu never sees Krishna in the last 24 years of his life. In the last 24, he's 24 years in Navadvip and 24 years in Puri. And practically, he's in this mood of Vipralamba, this separation mood, the whole time. Once or twice, Krishna will manifest, his fragrance will come in the air, etc., and he'll see Krishna. He'll hear Krishna's flute. And those extraordinary pastimes of him becoming like a tortoise in that ecstasy. But for most of the time, it's all a mood of Vipralamba. So that mood of Vipralamba is not what is all pervasive in Vrindavan Dham. It's there, but not to the extent that's exhibited in Puri Dham. So therefore, Puri Dham ultimately is not as high as Navadvip Dham. Understand? Because it's the meeting and separation that go to nourish each other, but not constantly separation, which is what Puri Dham is about. Jagannath Puri is a very elevated pastime place, especially regarding the Gambhira Leela of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but still it is like Dwarka. There are no forests or sub-forests of Vrindavan there. Neither Gokul, Bandiravan, Nandagaon or Varshana is there. These forests are not in Godavari Tata, neither are they in Kurukshetra or Jagannath Puri. Therefore, Navadvip must be superior to these places. These are Krishna's eternal pastime realms of the forests of Vrindavan. And these forests of Vrindavan are all present in Goradam, in Navadvip. But they're not present in Jagannath Puri or the Godavari. The birthplace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Mayapur is Mathura and Gokul combined. Mathura and Gokul combined. That means that Mathuresh Krishna, who merges into the body of Brajendranandan Shamsundar when he's brought across the flooded Jamuna on that dark night of Krishna's appearance, then those two places are merged within Antardvip. Mathura and Gokul are both there in Antardvip. It's so wonderful to get to know the map of Navadvip. This is what we're describing. We're describing the actual pastime places here from the highest perspective. And then as we come down through the next week, we'll explain all the different pastime places and the actual activities that took place there. But at the moment, we're just getting the bird's eye view of the whole picture of this extraordinary Dham in comparison to Vrindavan and Jagannath Puri. This is what we're appreciating now. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna with the internal mood and complexion of Srimati Radharani. He's always Krishna, Mahaprabhu. I know. Oh, I left a paragraph. Oh, sorry. The birthplace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu I read this already. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna.
Because the pastime.
Oh, sorry. Because the pastime places of Vrindavan are in Navadvip in a hidden way. Why are they hidden? Because Mahaprabhu can only taste this in a confidential way. These are not open on the market pastimes. He doesn't wear a peacock feather. He doesn't carry his flute. This is all confidential pastimes in Navadvip. In Vrindavan, he has his peacock feather, he has his flute. But outside of Vrindavan, he never takes his flute out of Vrindavan. He never takes his peacock feather out of Vrindavan. No one really knows what's going on in Vrindavan. They're not aware of that. And in Navadvip Dham, no one knows that this is Krishna directly. They all think this is Nimai Pandit the scholar. That's how his pastimes act out in this realm. Um, one of the 9 islands of Navadvip is Godrumdvip, and this island is described by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Jaivadharma. Godrumdvip is Nandagaon, nearby Varshana. So how do we know this is Nandagaon now? Because Nandishvara is there in Swananda Sukara Kunj. When you go to the Samadhi, Pushpa Samadhi of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, it's his remnants from his son, Lalit Prasad, cremated Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and those remnants were placed in Swananda Sukara Kunj, next place up. And there, when you go in the front gate, immediately there's a beautiful Shiva Lingam, which was worshipped by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Previously, it was in a little bit different place. Now they've made it into a nice temple. And Nandi is there also. So we worship that when we first go in the gate, acknowledging this is non-different to Nandagram, who is sitting on the head of Nandishvara, that Lord of Nandi, that Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva was instructed by Krishna, you manifest as a hill in Nandagan. Lord Brahma, your 4 heads manifest in Varshana. So the 4 hills in Varshana are the heads of Lord Brahma, and the 1 hill in Nandagan is the head of Lord Shiva. But that Nandishwa is the supporter of that head, is Nandi, the bull. So when we come into Swananda Sukara Kunj, we see that. So it'll remind us, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has established, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has uncovered this whole Dham. We said before, in Vrindavan, there were 6 or 7 or 8 Goswamis who were actually uncovering all the Dham. Here there was one, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. We can imagine how tirelessly he worked to reveal, to uncover the Dham. And it's still covered today, which is very wonderful for the devotees to appreciate. How can we support the uncovering of this Dham? This Dham is still covered in many circumstances. I described yesterday how Radhakund, you go there and it's called Bar Kobla, is the name of the village, and the people living in the village don't even know it's Radhakund. So they're all waiting for Bhaktivinoda Thakur's followers to come and wake up the place and put Radhakund on the signpost rather than Bar Kobla. Are we going to go? Are we going to do that? At one time, are we going to do that? Anyway, this is something for us to consider. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is depending on us. He's depending on the energetic, passionate Westerners who have that energy and have resources also that can actually move and do things like that. The birthplace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Mayapur is Mathura and Gokul combined. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna with the internal mood and complexion of Srimati Radharani. Krishna took birth in Vrindavan, partly in Mathura, yes. His Aishwarya aspect was in Mathura, and he manifested fully in Vrindavan, but fully in Gokul. And both places are combined here in Mayapur Yogpit. Fascinating, huh? That both Mathura and Gokul are manifested here in the Yogpit. These are some of the Vaishishtya, the specialities of this Dham. There's something special about Gauradham that isn't present in Vrindavan. There are these Vaishishtya, it's called, specialities. And this is one of them. That Mathura and Gokul are together here in Antardvip, not 8 miles difference like they are in Vrindavan. Crossing Ganga from there to Koladvip, where our Sri Keshavji Gaudiya Math is situated, we find Giriraj Govardhan. There, all the kunjas and caves in which Krishna played with the Sakas and Sakis are situated. Nearby, there is Rasoli, or Rasastali, where Chandra Sarovar is located at the foot of Giriraj Govardhan. All these places are there. If we go today to Koladvip, we can see these exact locations replicated in Vrindavan. They're from Vrindavan. And we should inquire, where is that place? Where is that place? The sadhak has to make some endeavor to find these places, and they're there. Nearby there is Ritudvip, where Radhakund and Shamakund are situated. That is Kokilvan. So you remember the forest of Kokilvan near Javat? There is Nandagaon, and then just south of, or north of Nandagaon is Kokilvan. And then just to the side is Jabat, where Srimati Radhika stays. Then is Terkadamba, and then all these places are there. So if the devotee is familiar with Vrindavan, then he can very easily appreciate Goradham much more fully. If you don't know anything about Vrindavan, it's very hard to see this Goradham clearly. This is why we need the Kartik Parikramas also. You see, we have the Kartik Parikrama to describe Vrindavan, and we have the Gora Parikrama to show how Vrindavan and Goradham are the same. They're complementary. Is it all clear what I'm saying? Mayapur is on the eastern bank of the Ganges, where the Ganges flows itself. So behind me is north, and then this is east on this side. So this is Mayapur side. And on the western side is the Jamuna and Navadvip township. That's the directions we're sitting here. And Brahma performed thousands upon thousands of austerities on that Ganges bank. So that's just across the river here. Lord Brahma performed those austerities. In Navadvip, there is Panchaveni, the meeting place of the Ganges, Yamuna, Saraswati, Godavari, Narmada, Sindhu, and Manasi Ganga rivers. Actually, my Gurudev explains there's far more rivers all converging here. All the holy rivers of Bharatvash converge here. They all come for Mahaprabhu's Kripa. Radhakund and Shamakund are there, and this is all very wonderful. In Mamgachi, Modundvip, Bandiravat is present, that tree. And Janudvip is Badravan. All these truths have been explained by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Sri Navadvip Dham Mahatmya. Vrindavan is in Navadvip, not Jagannath Puri or Godavari. Just pass me that water. I wonder how many people, if you speak to today, when you leave, just regular, do they think Jagannath Puri is superior to Navadvip? Once we hear these truths, we should share them. And by sharing them, we'll understand them more deeply. All these truths have been explained by Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Navadvip Dham Mahatmya. Vrindavan is in Navadvip, not in Jagannath Puri or Godavari. There is one very important thing to know, and I am explaining it for those who are senior Vaishnavas. They will be able to understand. Junior devotees will note it down, and they should also try to understand. You should know these things very deeply. With regards to Navadvip being Vrindavan, there are two Astakalya Leelas. One is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Astakalya Leela, and one is Radha and Krishna's Astakalya Leela. I actually posted on our WhatsApp thread the other day, Mahaprabhu's Astakalya Leela. Mahaprabhu's Astakalya Leela takes place in Navadvip, and it is that Astakalya Leela upon which devotees meditate. In their Gora Gayatri mantra, the Brahmanas chant Goraya. Why do they chant Goraya? Who is Gora? Gora, or Goranga, is Krishna, with the intrinsic mood and beauty or golden color of Radhika. She is actually Krishna, but now he is fully absorbed in the mood of Radhika. He feels as though he has become Radhika. He is like Radhika. We know in the 5th verse of the Shikshastakam, Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram, Patitam Vam Vishvam Bhavamado. This Ai, this is how a female would call out. If it was a male calling, they would say Are, but a female will call Aye. So Mahaprabhu, by the 5th verse of the Shikshastakam, is fully immersed in that Radha Bhav. He's non-different to Radharani at that time. And he's supported in that mood by Lalita and Vishaka, Rai Ramananda and Swarup Damodar. Radharani herself cannot be present when Mahaprabhu is feeling these things. because she is Radhika herself. So that would be incompatible for Mahaprabhu to be tasting himself as Radhika if Radhika was sitting there. So she is in the Tota Gopinath Mandir, and it's almost like that Chatak Parvat, that hill, that sand dune, is like a curtain between the two realms of the Gambhira side and the Tota Gopinath side. And Mahaprabhu, he will go there every day to see Gadadhar Pandit, and Gadadhar Pandit will reveal the truths of the Srimad Bhagavatam to Mahaprabhu. And together they're hearing these beautiful verses, Baharpita Nata Parabapur Karneo Karnikanam, these verses from the 10th canto describing the nature of Krishna in Vrindavan. And Mahaprabhu would faint, and Gadadhar would faint when Gadadhar was describing these pastimes. And then Mahaprabhu would come back in the evening to the Gambhira and remember and reflect upon what he'd heard in the day with Gadadhar. Gadadhar has been told to perform 3 particular functions: to accept disciples on behalf of Mahaprabhu, to worship the deity of Tota Gopinath, and to expound the truths of Srimad Bhagavatam. So these 3 activities Gadadhar Pandit performs. He feels as though he's become Radhika, but there are 3 features of Radhika. One is Vrishabhanu Nandini Radhika, one is Viyogini Radhika, and one is Sangyogini Radhika. So we should take the trouble to carefully appreciate these 3 moods. They're not 3 personalities, but they're 3 moods within the one. So the 3 features of Radhika and Mahaprabhu. Vrishabhanu Nandini Radhika never goes out of Vrindavan. And Krishna and Rohini Nandan, Ram, Balaram, are also always in Vrindavan. If Balaram and Krishna are coming towards Mathura, they will turn back to Vrindavan at the borderline. Where's the borderline? Akruragat. You remember the pastime. Akrura is taking them out, and Akrura is meditating in the Jamuna there, and then he sees Krishna and Balaram in his meditation, and he's just like shocked. And then he comes out of the bath, and he sees them again on the chariot, and they smile to him. Then he goes back in again, and he sees them again. One, he's seeing Krishna and Balaram in Vrindavan, and the other is Mathuresh Krishna, or Vasudev Krishna, Rohini Nandan, or Vasudev Balaram. He's seeing them in his meditation. So they've actually separated at that place of Akruragat. And Krishna Balaram, they stay in their pure spiritual, in that prakat atmosphere within Vrindavan. And then Akrura carries on. In that aprakat, I mean. They stay in the aprakat, in the spiritual place in Vrindavan. And that prakat lila manifests then in Mathura afterwards, where Krishna goes. But he's not Brajendra Nandan Krishna, he's Vasudev Krishna at that time. Has no flute, no peacock feather. Why is Gurudev mentioning this? We'll see. They turn back to Vrindavan at the borderline. Rohini Nandan Ram cannot go out of Vrindavan because he always remains with Krishna. Only their manifestations, Vasudev Nandan Krishna and Vasudev Nandan Baladev, will go to Mathura and Dwarka. The pastimes of Krishna in Mathura and Dwarka are transcendental and everlasting, as are the pastimes of Rajendranandan Krishna in Vrindavan. Vasudev Krishna plays eternally in Mathura, and in Vrindavan, Rajendranandan Krishna plays eternally. But they're different personalities. They are one personality, but they have different moods. When Krishna is in Mathura, he's thinking, my mother and father are Vasudeva and Devaki. And he doesn't have a flute, doesn't have a peacock feather, etc. He's like a different natured person. He's a Kshatriya prince. And he kills many, many demons. That's what he does. But in Vrindavan, he has his flute and his peacock feather. Quite different. Similarly, there are 3 Radhikas. Actually, there is only one Radhika, but she has 3 moods or 3 features. Krishna does not change when he goes to Mathura, but he does not use his flute and peacock feather. He changes his father and mother, but not his form. Only his mood is changed, and mood is the prominent factor in of determination. This mood, what is the mood? We're trying to understand today the different moods between Navadvip and Puridam in particular. That's what Gurudev is talking about. If he takes his flute and peacock feather and tells everyone, I am the son of Nanda and Yashoda, then he is Brajendranandan Krishna. On the other hand, if he has no peacock feather and flute and tells everyone, I am the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, then he is present. He is present by his Prakash manifestation. His manifestation is not fully the Supreme Krishna himself. There's something not complete. Uddhav knew Krishna in Mathura, but when he came to Vrindavan, he was astonished at the whole other side of Krishna that he had no idea of, that was revealed through his witnessing the gopis' extreme separation. He'd never seen this before. He had no comprehension of the depth and amount of sweetness and love that is represented in Vrindavan Dham. That Madhurya had no... My Gurudev used to describe regularly like somebody with a cap on the back of their head, and they're looking up and the hat falls off because they're looking so high. So Uddhav knew Krishna in Mathura, but when he came to Vrindavan, it was completely different, because the power and weight of that affection would just drown away any hint of Aishwarya, that mood of awe and reverence towards Krishna. We know the story when Uddhav goes into Braj as the messenger, and when he first comes in, Krishna gives him a spurti of what it's like when Krishna is there. Everyone is singing, the cows are roaming, and the bulls are rutting in the fields and so on. The peacocks are cuckooing, and all the cowherd boys are playing. Everything's very beautiful. The Brahmins are chanting all the Vedic mantras and so on. And he sees the whole atmosphere of Braj while Krishna is present. Then all of a sudden, Krishna steps out of a door. And what does Uddhav do? He offers pranam. And everything changes. Because in Vrindavan, they don't offer pranam like that. They don't indicate to Krishna that he's the supreme person. Not for a moment. Krishna is Mugdata as well as Sarvagyan. Sarvagyan means knowing everything. And Mugdata means he doesn't know anything. That's how he's able to be bound by Mother Yashoda. Because he doesn't know his God. And this is astonishing. This is what he wants to experience. He goes specifically with this mood to Vrindavan to experience that forgetfulness of his opulence. And Yogamaya assists him all the time in that desire. In the same way, Vrishabhanu Nandini Radhika is always with Krishna in Vrindavan. In Nandagaon, where Radhika felt so much separation and spoke Brahmara Geet, she is Viyogini Radhika. Actually, she is never in Viyog, in the sense that she is never separate from Krishna. How can you separate heat from fire? You can't separate it. It can't be separate. But for the nourishment of the union, it appears that there is separation, because it just increases the sweetness and speciality. Everything is orchestrated to produce the highest form of bliss for Krishna. Everything is directed towards Krishna's bliss and complete intoxicating happiness. And all the residents of Braj are supporting that Madhurya mood. And of course, they also are feeling those same ecstatic, blissful feelings as a consequence. You understand? But it's all the cows, the grass, the trees, the river, the birds, everything is supporting that Madhurya ras that Krishna wants to immerse himself in, that pranaya vikar that we've heard in the chapter 14. Krishna is immersed in that loving mood, those loving transformations within Vrindavan Dham. That's his nature. That's what he wants to do. Um, she is never in Viyog in the sense that she's never separated from Krishna. Srila Rupa Goswami has explained this truth in his Lalit Madhav, also in Ujjvala Nilamani. Lalit Madhav is when it all gets transferred across to Dwarka, and we see all the same gopis in Dwarka. Rukmini is Chandravali, Satyabhama is Radhika, and they all having pastimes in an Aishwarya kingdom. And Krishna is there as a royal prince, not just as the prince of the cowherd boys. So it's a different dynamic. But this contrast is very illuminating for us to appreciate the similarity and the distinction. We have to know these differences between the holy dhams. It's so important to generate this affection and attraction to Krishna. Srila Rupa Goswami has explained this truth in his Lalit Madhav and also in Ujjvala Nilamani. That is why Srila Kavi Kanpur has not discussed the Leela of Mathura and Dwarka. He completes his Ananda Vrindavan Champu just after Rasa Leela. Our acharyas can never tolerate the idea that Radhika would be separated from Krishna. They're so soft. Listen, Prabhu, just underneath that bank of electrical things is a little black air conditioning. Yes, and you can close the door and I'll put this on. I won't keep it on too long so you get cold. Yes, the acharyas are like this, like Sanatan Goswami. He describes that after Krishna has killed Kamsa, he comes back to Vrindavan riding on the back of Kalyanaga. Kalyanaga becomes his chariot, and he rides on the back of Kalyanaga back to Vrindavan. The soft-hearted acharyas don't want Krishna to be spoken about outside of Vrindavan, because that is Rajendranandan Shyam Sundar. That is the full, complete Krishna in Vrindavan. And what is so remarkable is that same full, complete Krishna is here in Goradam. That's what we're trying to appreciate today. In her original and complete feature, she is called Vrishabhanu Nandini. She is always with Nandanandan Krishna. And the Radhika who feels separation in Nandagan is her manifestation as Viyogini Radhika. V means separation. She is the same Radhika, but she is feeling Viyog. And in Kurukshetra, she is Sangyogini Radhika. She goes there for a moment, 1 or 2 days, and keeping Krishna on the chariot of her mind, she brings him back to Vrindavan. Sangyog means always meeting. She brings him back. Beautiful pastime. We're just going very quickly through, but I hope all of you are getting some type of appreciation of the depth of this Goradam in contrast to Puridam. This, I think, is what my Gurudev wants to demonstrate, because many are attracted to Puridam and considering that that is much more potent, but actually it's not. Varsha, could you just get up for a minute and close the curtain on the window behind you? Keep the cold air in. Just pull the curtain is good. In the mantra, Tan no Gura Prachodayat, the name Vishwambara is uttered. Vishwambara never lived in the cave Gambhira in Jagannath Puri, for he is Sachinandan Gaurahari in Navadvip. So Vishwambara never lived in the cave. That Vishwambara is the same as Rajendranandan. So when we're saying our Gayatri mantras, we're talking Vishwambaraya, Tanno Guru Prachodayat. So that Vishwambaraya is here in Navadvip. How can you understand this? We can't understand it. We can just hear it and accept its inconceivable truth or reality and wait for the mercy of our Guru Vargya to give us the mercy
Maharaj, is it like in Gambira, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had fully grown into Radha Bhav. So is it why that Guru
But
Narayan Bhatta?
still, he hasn't. That's less than here in Navadvip.
Then why does he say Vishwambara? Vishwambar means one who is the Lord of the universe, which
Yes,
was present in Navadvip.
yes, that
But
very esoteric Lord, that Vrajendranandan Shamsundar. This is what he's saying,
hmm,
that this Vrajendranandan Shamsundar is non-different to Vishwambara. And that is here in Navadvip. Even though Mahaprabhu, he tasted something to that Madanakya Mahabhav in Puri, but still that whole mood of Puri is Aishwarya, even if he tasted it for a moment, but then it disappears again. So it's not continuous like in Navadvip, it's all the time there. You understand? He attained that state, but just for a moment, that Madanakya Mahabhav, my Gurudev explains, yes, he tasted that. Mohan, not Madan, it was Mohan, meeting in separation. So he tasted that in Puri. But then again, he comes back into his normal chanting Harinam, etc., his normal sadhana that he was doing, his normal meditation that he was doing. It doesn't sustain it until he leaves this world. You understand? In the cave of Gambhira, Mahaprabhu played a role of great. Did I read everything?
no,
No, I missed something.
from there.
So much love and affection. From there, he gives so much knowledge, so much love and affection, and a very high class prem to the jivas. Vishrambaraya Dimahi means that we meditate on him in Navadvip. It's going to be described. Just wait. And if you're not satisfied at the end, I'll explain. But I don't need to jump ahead and explain what Gurudev is going to do. In the cave of Gambhira, Mahaprabhu played a role of great opulence. At that time in the night, no one but Rai Ramananda and Swarup Damodar, Vishaka and Lalita were able to witness his pastimes. At that time, although Sri Rupa Goswami was always hearing and knowing all Mahaprabhu's pastimes, even he could not go there. In Godavari, Mahaprabhu manifested his form as Rasaraj Mahabhav. This is opulence. At that time, even Ramananda Roy began to pray like Devaki and Arjuna. Oh, you are that same Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is opulence, not Madhurya, because it's so astonishing. We'll read the end note in it. How are we doing for time? We're okay. In Navadvip, however, there is no opulence. That's the point.
Hmm.
Without the opulence, there can be sweet, there can be so much Madhurya. But in Puri, there is that. It's described actually that in Jagannath Puri, all the residents have four arms, just like in Dwarka. That's how it's described. That is not Naralila. That is not the sweetest. It's hard for us to understand because we're so caught up in the material conceptions and we think grand things are the most powerful. But actually, the most powerful is the sweetest mood of love. That is the most powerful, not the grandiose exhibitions of things and so on. In the cave of Gambhira, Mahaprabhu prayed a great. Oh, how is it
In
right?
Navadvip.
Where are we? Oh, yes. In Navadvip, however, there is no opulence. In Navadvip, Sachinandan Gaurahari played as Krishna played with the girls in Vrindavan. While bathing in the Ganges, he would say to the little girls, "Will you marry me? I want to marry you. If you do not marry me, you will not be happy. Give your offerings of sandesh and bananas to me." This comes in the category of Astakalya Leela of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and it is therefore far superior to any Leela in Jagannath Puri, because it's filled with nothing but sweetness. And this Krishna is manifesting there. In Navadvip, there is Swarasiki Upasana, meditation and worship of the continual flow of unlimited leelas taking place throughout each 24-hour day. These means that the leelas are just tumbling through the consciousness all the time, continual stream of meditation on different leelas, one after the other. In contrast to, um, whereas in Puri, there is mantra Mayi Upasana, meditation and worship of a specific leela. In this case, Srimati Radhika's separation feelings from Krishna. That's a mantra Mayi Upasana. That meditation you just described is not filled with a variety of pastimes. It's only focusing one. That's the answer, I think, to your question. It's only focusing on one particular aspect of that mood of deepest vipralamba. Because in that vipralamba, Radhika is experiencing that mohan, that highest stage of separation, where those astasattvic abhavs are all blazing. Because it's described that meeting and separation are ultimately the same. My Gurudev used to say all the time that meeting is the highest and separation is the topmost. So they're non-different, ultimately. Because in separation, what is generated internally is the meeting. But in meeting, externally is the meeting. You understand? In separation, we are experiencing the meeting internally. But in meeting, we are experiencing the meeting. When we're meeting, in Sambhog, meeting, externally, we are meeting, so therefore it's the highest in the actual meeting. But in separation, the meeting is internal, so they're actually both the same. You understand? You have to understand. You're an intelligent person. If you don't understand, then no one understands. In Navadvip, however, where am I up to? Oh, yes, I read all that. Oh, Swarasiki, Mantra Upasana. Meditation and worship of a specific lila. In this case, Srimati Radhika's separation feelings with Krishna. Now we are going to Godrundvip through Harikatha, which is Nandagaon, where Prem Das Babaji performed his bhajan. What is Godrum? Godrum. The drum means a very big people ashwatthata tree, and go refers to the Surabhi cow. After Krishna's pastimes, Surabhi brought Indra to this place and performed thousands upon thousands of years of austerities in order to receive the darshan of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. At last she received his darshan when he was performing Naga Sankirtan in Mahabhav. It was also in this place that Surabhi gave milk to Markandeya Rishi. So Sri Navadvip is not an ordinary or general place. It is the most superior place, but it appears to be covered because you don't see it externalized the way when you go to Vrindavan. You see Radhakund, you see Shamakund, you see Kalyanaga, Kalyahrada. You see all of these different Kadambakeri, you see all of these different places, Nandagan, you see Varshana, you see the hills, you see the places, everything is there, Suryakund, all the Govardhan Hill. You don't see this here, but it's here in a covered way. And similarly, Mahaprabhu is in a covered incarnation. But this Dham will become uncovered as time goes on, and Vrindavan, which is already covered, will become even more covered. Vrindavan is being covered by materialistic ideas and conceptions. You know, you've got fast food chains in Vrindavan, you've got bank, you've got all kinds of material things covering the sanctity of that place, you know, and gradually those coverings will become more and more gross. But this Dham is much more subtle. But all of these same places are there, and the devotees take great happiness and relish in visiting. And that's what we're going to be doing for the next 5 days, visiting all these places. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has an abode in Nandagaon, Terkadamba, which is so glorious because unlimited, very sweet pastimes took place there. He's actually saying like this place is like Terkadamba, this Surabhi Kunj where we are. near Javat. During the day, Krishna used to play his flute, calling Shamali, Dabali, Gange, Jamune, Prasinge, at which time millions of cows used to meet him. That's like Tergadamba exists exactly halfway between Nandagaon and Javat, exactly halfway. And it's always where Radhika with her Sakis would come to make breakfast for Krishna in Nandagaon. And Krishna would know that. And he would situate himself with the cows there, right in the middle of their path, so that when the Sakis came through, Krishna sometimes would squirt milk directly over Radhika, and all the Sakis would be laughing, etc. So these beautiful pastimes would take place daily. And this was the place of Rupa Goswami's Bhajan Kutia in Terkadamba. So similarly, in that same mood of Terkadamba, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is residing here. Nandagaon is just there. So very interesting to appreciate. At which time millions of cows used to meet him. During the night, his flute called Radhe, Lalita, Vishake, and they all came to him. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur preferred Govardhan, just as Srila Rupa Goswami preferred to have his bhajan stali in between Nandagaon and Yavat. Govardhan is the same as Terkadamba in Nandagaon. Did you know that? Well, you've learned something today anyway. It's good. This is Terkadamba, the most extraordinary. When Srila Bhakti Saraswati was leaving this world, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj was there, and he asked him, which is your favorite place in all of Braj? And Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj, he said, oh, Terkadamba, I'm very fond of. And Srila Bhakti Saraswati said, yes. And he confirmed that he also was very fond of this place, Terkadamba, because it's the Bhajan Kutia of Rupa Goswami. And this is where we're living. Could you get a higher place than this? And it's covered over with so many different, we think it's just a material place. Where have we got Rupa Goswami written up prominently? Where have we got Terkadamba written prominently? We haven't got it. It's all under wraps because it has to be that way. Because Nitai is here pounding out the beat of the holy name. This is the general storehouse of the marketplace for the holy name. This is how Bhaktivinoda Thakur conceived. And from that holy name is going to manifest, first of all, Goranam. And then from Goranam, we will go to Mahaprabhu. And then Krishna Nam will manifest from Mahaprabhu himself. It's this Krishna Ras that we are seeking, not Gora Ras. um, uh, the same as Terkadamba. Antardvip is Mahaprabhu's birthplace and also Krishna's birthplace. Gokul and Mathura. But Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur preferred Nandagaon because Radha's and Krishna's separation and meeting are both present here. Their meeting and separation right here in Terkadamba, daily. Imagine if we could see these things, if we had the mercy of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. We are crying out for the mercy of. Why is my Gurudev talking about Bhaktivinoda Thakur? Because he is the revealer of this holy Dham of Goradam. He reveals all of these pastime places, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur directly. He is revealing this. Certainly, the knowledge, the understanding through the Jaivadharma. He's revealing all of these truths through studying Jaivadharma. So essential and necessary for us. Question. In Kurukshetra, Radharani felt separation from Krishna even though they were meeting. Why is she called Samyogini here, since Samyogini means always meeting? Srila Narayan Maharaj. They are never separated for Leela. They are never separated. For Leela, they appear to be separated. Radha, Krishna, Pranaya, Vikritya, Hladini, Shakti, Asmat, Ekatmana, Api, Bhuve, Puri, Deha, Bedam, Gatoto. Chaitanyayakam, Prakatam, Aduna, Tadvayam, Chakyamaptam, Radha, Bhav, Tudisavalitam, Nomi, Krishna Svarupam. The loving affairs of Sri Radha and Krishna are transcendental manifestations of the Lord's internal pleasure-giving potency. Although Radha and Krishna are one in their identity, they separated themselves eternally. Now these two transcendental entities have again united in the form of Sri Chaitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. I bow down to him who has manifested himself with the sentiment and complexion of Srimati Radharani, although he is Krishna himself. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adilila 1.5. They have become two for Leela Ras, but they are one. In this way they are always meeting. In meeting there is also separation, and this stage is called Madanakya Mahabhav. So meeting and separation. Question. Is Sachinandan Gaurahari tasting Madanakya Mahabhav in Prakat Leela, Mahaprabhu's pastimes as manifest in this world? In Navadvip, in Srivasangam, and other places? So he's asking this question. Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Yes, he was, but it was in his heart. Should understand this. It wasn't external, it was in his heart. Because that Radha Bhav externally had not arisen till he came to the Godavari. We've just described that and met Vishaka. But internally, while he was here, then this Rasa Leela, these bhavs were manifesting during the Rasa Leela pastimes, which took place in the house of Srivasangam. Every night, those Sankirtan for a whole year behind the closed doors in Srivasangam. That Sankirtan Ras is the Ras Leela of Goradam. Yes, he was, but it was in his heart. Without Madanakya Mahabhav, he is not Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He has become Sachinandan Gaurahari. Especially for tasting this mood, it was especially for this. I'll just read that again. Yes, he was, but it was in his heart. Without Madanakya Mahabhav, he is not Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yes, he has to. That mood of the highest ras has to be here. If this place of Navadvip is the same as Vrindavan, it must be here. He has become Sachinandan Gaurahari, especially for tasting this mood. It was especially for this. Question. He is tasting this in Svetadvip, but he is also tasting it in Prakat Lila, Navadvip, in this world. Narayan Maharaj, Goswami Maharaj. Yes, either in seed or externally manifest. Everywhere it will be so. Now there's an end note here. After speaking in this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed himself as Rasaraj Mahabhav, and seeing this form, Rai Ramananda fainted and began to roll on the earth. What was so special about this form? Ramananda Rai had personally seen both Radha and Krishna in Krishna's pastimes, because he is Vishaka Sakhi in those pastimes. This is the dynamic I was explaining about the Sakhi Bhav. It's been transmitted then. But now in this form, he saw that each and every limb of Radhika was covered by each limb of Krishna, and the body of Krishna was covered with the golden complexion of Srimati Radhika. And still, even though he was covered by that golden complexion, some black luster from his body was showing through. Rai Ramananda had never before seen this form. No one had ever before seen this form. This is astonishing at the Godavari. So one might be thinking that the Godavari must be the highest conception, but now it's going to be explained. This means that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Radhika covered by all the limbs of Krishna, who is covered by the complexion of Radhika. Krishna's beauty is Nilamani Kanti, which means it has the beauty and luster of a sapphire pearl. This beautiful luster was covered by a golden luster, and the combined beauty of the two is Rasaraj Mahabhav. Krishna is Rasaraj and Radhika is Mahabhav. Radhika is Mahabhav Swarupini, we usually say. Here, Rasaraj and Mahabhav are combined, and Rai Ramananda fainted when he saw that form. This Siddhanta is the topmost in any history or any Vedic literature, and it has not even been revealed in Srimad Bhagavatam. I know that you cannot understand this elevated mood, but something of it will gradually come to you. Suppose you are trying to take a bath, and at the same time all the water is draining out. Still, some of the water touches your body, and you feel somewhat refreshed. Similarly, even if you do not fully understand what I am telling you, something will nevertheless come to you. Somewhat of a seed or greed to attain this mood will come to you, and it will become a treasure for you in the future. Try to become very bold and strong, and try to follow my teachings. Actually, these are not my teachings. These are the teachings of my Gurudev and the Guru Parampara. So that's that essay, which I think, if we can even appreciate simply the fragrance of it, we have gained tremendously. It takes us into a whole number of questions, perhaps. If you start questioning, that's good. If you don't have any questions, that's not good. We should have questions about all of these topics. Actually, if we listen to the different audios that are coming around on the threads about my Gurudev speaking with the ISKCON leaders on all of these different topics, they're very illuminating on all these topics. So many truths are there. So we need to have a collection of truths to go deeper and deeper. These topics are very, very deep, and we need to pray to Guru and our Guru Vargya to please illuminate me in these most transcendental teachings. And the idea, the conclusion is to establish fully in our minds that this Navadvip Dham is the most superior Dham. It even has specialities that Vrindavan Dham doesn't have. Do we want those? Do we want to taste them? Are we anxious for that? Then we should stay like Surabhi stayed for thousands of years to get the darshan of Sachinandan Gaurahari and to appreciate all of these same pastime places here that are in Vrindavan. So gradually, by hearing more of the glories of Navadvip Dham, slowly over the years, gradually, our appreciation will deepen and we'll be able to fully realize the speciality of these two Dhams and the distinction with Puri Dham, which is what my Gurudev really brought out today. So we'll have a short kirtan and then we'll close for today. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha. Oh Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. 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 Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Oh Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Oh Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Oh Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Oh Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. 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 Jai Jai Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Oh Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Oh Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Oh Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. Oh, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Hari Bol, 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 Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Om Nitai Gauranga Jaya Gaura Hari, Jaya Nityananda Jaya Gaura Hari, Gauranga Jaya Gaura Hari, Nityananda Jaya Gaura Hari, Jaya Nityananda Jaya Gaura Hari, Jaya Nityananda Jaya Gaura Hari, Nityananda Jaya Gaura Hari. Oh Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga Jaya Gaura Hari, Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Nityananda. Oh Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, oh Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, oh Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Oh Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Jaya Nityananda Rai, Jaya Nityananda Rai, Nityananda Rai, Jaya Nityananda Rai, oh Nitai Hey, Nitai Hey, Nitai Hey, Nitai Hey, Nitai Hey, Nitai Hey. Oh Jaya Sachi Nandan Jaya Gaura Hari, Sachi Nandan Jaya Gaura Hari. Gaura Hey, 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 Gaura Hey. Oh Jaya Radha, Madana Mohan Radha, Madana Mohan Radhe. Jaya Radha, Govinda Radha, Govinda Radhe. Jaya Radha, Gopinata Radha, Gopinata Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. O Radhe, 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 Radhe. Nityananda Rai ki jai, Sachinandana Gaura Hari ki jai, Shri Radha Madan Mohan Ju ki jai, Shri Radha Govinda Ju ki jai, Shri Radha Gopinath Ju ki jai, Gaudran Dweep ki jai, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj ki jai, Shri Navadvipa Parikrama ki jai, Ananta Kota Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Samagata Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyacha patitanam pavnibhyo vaishnave namo namaha. Jai Ho.